Father Time left his earthly kingdom to go out and defeat the dragon Chaos. He took his 12 Zodiac children with him. After chaining up Chaos, Father Time decided to stay up in the sky and rest, and have his children go back to the earthly kingdom to take turns ruling in his place. The only thing was the kingdom was taken over after he left, and the new inhabitants did not want to give it up. His 12 Zodiac children grouped themselves in groups of 4, one of each of the elements: fire, earth, air, and water. The youngest 4 raced ahead and made it to the edge of the captured kingdom first. Before they could get into the kingdom, there was a large body of water that had to be crossed. Aries and Taurus were arguing over if they should land in the northern or southern part of the kingdom. Gemini was amused by the 2 stubborn siblings' spat and would make points for both sides. Neither Aries or Taurus would budge. They demanded Cancer, who was in charge of the ship, to cross them over, drop one in the north and the other in the south. Gemini wouldn't commit to which stop they were getting off on. Cancer was getting emotional and pleading for them all to stick together, and if they picked one spot, then even she could come up and help. Aries was growing impatient. There was no more time for this bickering. The other siblings would be here soon, and then they wouldn't be the sole ones getting the victory. And getting the victory meant they would get more of a say of how things will be ruled. Speed was the essence. Taurus said, drop Aries off first. He was going to show it wasn't just speed, but he had the right invasion spot, and they would all see soon enough. Gemini tried to comfort Cancer. Cancer, you gotta stay in the water. In case one of them is wrong and needs to be transported to the other. Or in case I want to switch positions. Be a huge help if you just kept the ship ready. Cancer drops off first Aries, then Taurus and Gemini. Taurus tells Cancer, might as well sail to the center. If you see any of the others, let them know they can get ready for the victory party, and thank us then. Tell Virgo, I'm being gracious. I'm just winning the battle. They can sort out the best foods and wines. As Cancer swiftly sails to the center, she sees smoke from where they dropped off Aries. Leo, Virgo, Libra, and a trailing behind Scorpio are the next group to make it to the water's border. They find a half-burnt Cancer ship and a crying Cancer. Leo is very upset and leaps into Cancer's ship. What's wrong? What happened? Leo picks up Cancer, who's weeping. Cancer gets out in between sobs. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, it was an ambush. Leo yells for Scorpio. Get us across. Where's Scorpio? Leo leaps off the Cancer ship and goes running, looking for that never where they need them Scorpio. Virgo and Libra board Cancer's ship. Virgo says, tell me everything. She starts taking notes, and Libra weighs in on Virgo's burgeoning strategy. Leo finds Scorpio. Times like this is why we need to stick together, and you can't just do your own thing. Do you care that 3 of your siblings are possibly already dead? Answer me. Libra hears the fight and leaves the ship, and she gets in between the 2. Leo, not everyone reacts to tragedy the same way. Virgo then comes, followed by Cancer. Virgo tells Leo, when you're ready, from talking with Cancer, I think I've narrowed down to our 3 best options. Leo doesn't wait to respond. I'm ready. After Virgo lays out the 3 plans, Libra asks, should we wait for the others? Scorpio, who had been silent the whole time, says, I think we should. Libra asks, should we vote? Virgo paces. If we all try one way, and I'm wrong, and then we're all dead too, I think we should leave someone here to tell them our plan, and the other 2, in case we're unsuccessful, they have another chance. Libra asks Cancer, do you want to stay? Leo says, no. Cancer already knows the terrain, and I'm sure wants a chance to get back at these murderous thieves. Scorpio wanted to wait and march to their own drummer. Let them stay. Libra says, I want to say this privately, away from Scorpio, but that wouldn't be fair, so I'll just say it now. I'm worried that if Scorpio is left here, an unholy alliance between them and Capricorn, Death and the Devil, and who knows what unholy thing Aquarius might do if there's no one left to check them. Leo puts their paw on Libra. I know you can't help but consider all sides, which is why I'm happy you'll be by my side when we go into battle. But we can't worry about what happens if we fail. Virgo has a good plan, and this time those thieves won't have the element of surprise on their side. And we're all going to stick together, unlike Taurus and Aries, who rushed in to compete with each other. I'm confident to go into battle with the three of you. Yes, Cancer, you're coming with us. They will feel your vengeance. Alone, Scorpio begins to weep. It should have been them who went with the group. Leo always misunderstands me. Just because I don't wear my emotions on my sleeve doesn't mean my well doesn't run deep. Sagittarius, the horse archer, surprises the usually guarded Scorpio. What news? Asks Sagittarius. Scorpio quickly backs up and asks, where's the rest of you? Right back at you, asks Sag. Scorpio, in attempting to regain composure, I need to speak with Capricorn. Where is he? Sag says, Pisces got ill and Cap has to carry him. They can't go fast without Pisces getting more ill. Aquarius is working on a spell to heal Pisces, but it hasn't worked yet. I can ride you to them or deliver any message to them if you want to stay here. Scorpio gets on her sister's horse and they ride off. When they gallop to where all the warmth disappears, the aurora borealis appears. Sag slows down as they travel over some ice. Sag looks up and says, that's Aquarius for you, the star putting on a show. She pulls out an arrow and shoots a fallen willow tree. It ignites. Here, it won't be so cold. The snow is falling, and under it walks Capricorn, holding a sleeping Pisces, and followed by Aquarius. How is Pisces? Capricorn's head twitches, and a horn spears a giant snowflake. He says, we did everything we could to wake up Pisces, but we had to learn the hard way. Pisces is meant to be dreaming up the future and needs to be protected until he has all the dreams he's meant to have, which can only mean things must not be going well with our siblings. Scorpio, who is usually more standoffish, feels more at home in this wintry, enigmatic environment. Aquarius notices Scorpio looking up at the northern lights and moves her hands to get them to make a flaming tower, collapsing. Sag asks, should I go out and scout and see if this is true? Scorpio, would you sail me across the water? Capricorn and Aquarius shake their heads in agreement. Capricorn says, wait. Sag, shoot a hole in the ice. Sag shoots a flaming arrow through the ice, and then the sea goat grabs a curled up Pisces, jumps down the hole into the water. Capricorn hops out alone. Aquarius then channels the green and purple mist down into the hole. They see under the ice the green and purple lights, and it refreezes the ice. Aquarius then directs a cold wind towards the kingdom. Capricorn and Aquarius nod their heads. Sagittarius rides off with Scorpio and Capricorn on her back. When they cross over the water into the kingdom, Sag asks, should I scout and report back? Capricorn shakes his head. I have something you'll like even more. Get me to that mountain, and then you're unleashed. Destiny wouldn't put Death and the Devil on your back if it wasn't already the 10th hour. After you're rid of me, it's your turn to ride and burn. Scorpio pulls her hair back tighter in a wet ponytail. She says, Libra was worried if we teamed up, but I'm not worried. Where do you want me? Capricorn says, if Libra was so worried, why didn't they wait? Wait here. If there are any survivors, I'll send them here and you can get them back to Aquarius. If this is the end of knowing you, know that I know. You feel a lot deeper than you let on. And if incest wasn't so taboo, it'd be me and you. Scorpio pushes Capricorn, who laughs and says, I would have thought you of all would understand the need for gallows humor, Lady Death. With the blizzard over top, visibility was limited, and they got to the mountain maybe unseen. Capricorn started to climb up the mountain to the castle up on top it. It was a dark climb, but below, Capricorn could see the spiral of fire grow. Aquarius must have seen it too and stopped the snow. Inside the castle were these beings of light with wings that flew at Capricorn with swords. He lifted up chunks of stone from the floor and flung it at them to knock them down, and moved to a narrow hallway. In close quarters, their wings were no asset, and Capricorn used his hooved heels and horns on his head as weapons to attack from both ends. These beings were different than the grotesque dragon and giants he fought before. These were beautiful creatures with divine voices. They were commandos and a choir, sirening one song as they maneuvered in coordinated droves of attacks and retreats. There was another voice, most distinct, that traveled in and seemed to give the calls that the others would respond to. That's where he had to get to. Distracted or worn out, he didn't defend the sword that snuck in, pierced through his lower back, down into his hip. Sagittarius went to light another arrow and pulled back her bow, only to have the flame blown out. Then a cyclone of cold air come tunneling towards her. She ducked away from that one, but not the one trailing behind her. Picked up and knocked to the ground. Then 3 figures came up to her and kicked her bow away. It was Libra and Gemini in its double form. Libra said, "I know you're following orders, but you caused a lot of destruction. Tell me, what is the just thing for me to do to you?" Sagittarius said, "What are you talking about? Are there others still alive?" Both Geminis started laughing. "The only reason I don't want to kill her quickly and find the more important threats is, I'm anxious. With all the fire and water signs gone, I'll be the dumbest one in the room." The other Gemini slaps the other. "No, you're the dumbest and the smartest, and maybe you're anxious because we're not sure if we can trust our new master. Maybe we should use these lesser minds to aid us in overthrowing the devil we don't know for the idiots we do know." Both Geminis laugh and slap each other's back. Only the next thing to grasp their back is the vengeful Cancer's claws. Cancer yells, "Traitors!" and tightens the squeeze. "No wonder you wanted me to wait by the water." Sagittarius leaps up, gets its bow, and starts to rain down flames at Libra, who with new-fashioned wings flies over and grabs the split twins' hands, trying to lift them up, but Cancer is tugging back and not letting them go. Sagittarius shoots at Libra, who has to let go of one of the twins to dodge an arrow. Libra's free hand pulls out her sword to slash at Cancer's claws. Cancer has to let go or risk being slashed again. The rejoined twins also fashion their new wings and take to the air with Libra out of Sagittarius's range. Libra says to Gemini, "They're not worth it. We'll deal with them after we take care of the bigger threats, if they're even still alive." Cancer hugs Sagittarius. Sagittarius asks if there are any others still alive. Cancer says Virgo might be, but I'm not sure, and hugs Sag again. Sagittarius says, "Those two are flying towards an unsuspecting Aquarius and Pisces, who's probably still asleep. Let's go protect them." Aquarius was all alone, wondering if Pisces really needed to be protected. It seemed like a waste of talent to be left here to babysit. Whatever took control of the kingdom was powerful enough to fend off 8 of their siblings. What made Capricorn so sure it could beat them alone? Was it just pride that it wanted to go in alone and act like he was being the sole protector? Was he really that much more skilled than her? Who was smarter, Capricorn or me? Aquarius, distracted by their internal dialogue, didn't hear when Libra and Gemini first appeared. Capricorn spit out blood into the face of the one that got behind him. With his other leg, he spun and kicked its sword out into his hands and stabbed it in the chest before spitting in its face. Now with a sword, he spun and twisted, filled with adrenaline rush that might be his last before the pain debt came to be collected. He was not going to go out before getting a look at the voice that commanded the others. He kicked and thrashed through the hallways leading to the great hall, where, when he was young, his family used to feast. And now he heard that's where the sound of his voice was coming from. But he heard another voice, a terrified, familiar voice. It was Virgo. She cried, "Capricorn, it's too late. Run, save yourself, save the others." All the more he hurried to the great hall, and then the beings started to part ways to make it easier for him to get there, like they were just pre-exhausting him in the hallways. Now, in the great hall, they could use their wings and fly over him. After he entered the great hall, he saw Virgo up on a platform, tied up, limbs stretched out. While he looked at her, the door in the hall slammed shut. Virgo couldn't move, and a slow-moving blade went into her leg. Capricorn rushed and jumped, only to be hit and slashed with flying swords. Like a swarm of bees, he was being stung. Virgo screamed again, and he saw the voice that commanded them all be the one to pull the blade out of Virgo, a being brighter than the rest. Capricorn's head was swirling, wounds began swelling, and no straightforward solution. All the swirling stress and slashes were to focus. Even if I free Virgo, where could she go? They'd just recapture her. How could I even make it to her? Then there was a banging and a burst. The door broke open, and in plowed Taurus. Taurus heaved and weaved his giant battle axe through the air, knocking and rocking the beings out of it. Capricorn then vaulted and fatally assaulted the disoriented winged beings. The remaining light beings retreated up to the platform where Virgo was, aching in agony. Taurus and Capricorn bowed and rubbed their horns together. Taurus was holding his side, where caked-on mud that was used to seal a wound that was now oozing out with the deeper breaths he took. Taurus said, "Looks like you went with the scorched earth strategy." Capricorn patted Taurus's mud bandage, moving some of it back into place, and said, "We're both dying, and you still want to argue tactics." Taurus took some of the mud from their leg and put it over Capricorn's lower back, and said, "You're a liar if you say you don't." Their mutual smile was interrupted. The brightest being looked at them and sung to them in a lamenting tune that made them almost sympathize with the being that had their sister tied up next to him. "The three of you, it's a shame. You did not take my deal that your heir siblings did. I would have had great usage for your talents over the earth. You could have ruled over it as you see fit. Really, I would leave you alone, so long as you treat me as your new father. A simple request for such a significant reward. Really, I didn't need more princes and princesses of the air, although they seem to be the only ones to understand my plan." Taurus and Capricorn walked closer to the being with their weapons out front. The being only slightly changed to a tune in a lower register. "Final offer, or you can't say I didn't warn you." The flying ones who retreated descended. The singing was louder and randomly fell into disharmony, followed by sporadic change of motion. The being's attack patterns were harder to prepare for, and the brighter being came off of the platform and joined the fight. When they sung in harmony, it would lull you into a rhythm, only to be confused when they broke it with a discord and sudden change of direction. Capricorn was more agile and could jump and kick at a whim, but mighty Taurus needed more momentum to swing that giant axe. The brightest being looked at Capricorn as it swiftly sliced off Taurus's head, then hacked off its horns and threw them into Virgo's skull. The brightest being said, "I know a devil when I see one. You can rule all the earth, yourself now, all the seasons, forever. No more settling for these smaller minds, to rule for you part of the time, running things into the ground and then handing it over to you and going, "Where's your yield?" when you have to hold everything together with the scraps they left. You saw right away that the right move was scorched earth. They didn't. They're dead. You're not. No one will blame you for taking my deal and letting the rest of your siblings live here in this kingdom with you as my overseer. Or I'll kill you, then kill the rest of your siblings, even the air ones, after they kill the rest of you. And I know about Pisces and their dreams. Right now, I'm giving them a nightmare, and they'll be fished out, and I'll eat them right in front of you. Capricorn walked closer. That's twice now that you've changed the offer since I've been in here. And you just admitted you're going to break whatever deal you made with the air siblings I didn't even know about. But what I do know is you have no plans on keeping it. So I would have to be a moron to think any offer you make to me will stick. And you couldn't be that dumb to not see that. So you must be scared I will kill you. And you're just throwing out anything. Before Capricorn got within striking reach of the brightest light bearer, the lesser lights started up their lines of attacks. Capricorn was punctured or pierced in every body part, but kept getting up and charging at these winged beings. Once on the floor, taking longer to get up, eyes going blurry with blood and sweat smearing them. He noticed attackers were not swooping down on him. He felt the wings fly past him, and coming through the doorway came in Scorpio. With spears of ice, she threw them through the beings. It poisoned them, and they fell from the air and died. The last of the light beings, the brightest one, flew up out a window. Scorpio picked up Capricorn and laid him upon the table where they used to eat. She rubbed snow over his wounds and pricked him with her tail. She said it would slow the pain down. Gemini flapped their wings down to Aquarius. Gemini asked, "Jealous?" They kind of make it not even fair. We were always the most powerful siblings, and now we got wings. Our master, who gave us these, wants us to ask you this. Would you want to fly or die? Aquarius asked, "You're bragging about being the most powerful, but who gave you those is by definition more powerful than you. And what are you going to do if they turn on you?" Libra walks closer to Aquarius. Such the individualist. How is that working out for you? You're left here to babysit a sleeping fish? You have your showy tricks, but do they work in battle? Do you even know what our master and his army can do? Your other siblings are all gone, and you think you can be the last holdout. You and a sleeping fish. We have wings and could have ended you before you snapped out of whatever internal debate you had you pacing. What, are you sad? Cappy left? You out of the action again? Well, Cappy is dead, so you're pacing and wasting time arguing with a ghost. You can either join us or die alone out here when we return with an army of other winged killers who don't just have tricks of the sky, but experience making their enemies die. Aquarius asks, why didn't you already attack? Unless you're afraid of what I can do. I mean, there's two of you, and only me and my tricks. What do you need an army for? If I only have tricks, what do you and your master even need me for? And what does your so powerful master need you for? Come on, Justice. It's just me and a sleeping fish. Do you need backup? Gemini split into two and began attacking Aquarius from both sides. Libra used her wings to fly overhead. Aquarius was juggling snow and using it to hurl at her surrounding attackers. A flaming arrow went through Libra and she fell. When the twins went to look from where the arrow came, they were snapped by Cancer, and this time they did not get out before all the air in their body was squeezed out. Capricorn hopped up off the table and said, I gotta finish this. If I lie down, I won't ever get up. Scorpio hops on his back and they climb up out the window onto the roof of the castle. Below, the flames from Sagittarius have engulfed the rest of the kingdom up to the mountain. The light bearer has nowhere to fly to that's not in flames, except to stay on the roof or fly out of this kingdom. The two devils run at each other. They wrestle and roll on the roof. The light bearer gets out of the grip of the Capricorn by sticking a knife through Cap's hand and stapling it to the roof, and is ready to drive his sword through Capricorn's heart when Scorpio, in desperation, thrusts her tail into the belly of the light bearer, whose wings start to beat to take flight. Capricorn sees this liftoff and thinks Scorpio will be dropped off in the flames below. Capricorn pulls out the knife holding his now paralyzed hand from the roof, leaps up, and with one arm tackles the taking off light bearer. The light bearer recovers from the downward shift of direction, flaps his wings trying to ascend. Scorpio is trying to get her tail unstuck, but it's in deep. She tells Capricorn to leap off onto the roof. Capricorn holds on to the light bearer with his one good hand and drives his horns repeatedly into the light bearer's chest, and the wings stop beating, sending them all to the flames below. Aquarius stopped the cold, Sag shoots an arrow into the ice, and Cancer dove in and brought up an awakening Pisces. Pisces, Cancer, and Aquarius all channel up the surrounding water into the sky and send the rains to their smoldering kingdom, and the four of them went home.